I always believed in loyalty. I thought my marriage was built on trust, mutual respect, and love. For 8 years, my wife and I had been together, 5 of those as husband and wife. I never once doubted her faithfulness until I did. It started with small things. She became more distant, constantly on her phone, texting someone with a slight smile playing on her lips. When I asked who it was, she would brush it off, saying it was just a group chat with her friends or a funny meme someone sent her. At first, I didn't push. Every relationship needs space, and I never wanted to be the controlling husband who checked his wife's phone. But then she started dressing differently, wearing perfume on days she claimed she was just grabbing lunch with her girlfriends. Her lunch dates became more frequent. She'd leave the house excited and come back glowing. Every time she walked through that door, she looked like she had just had the best time of her life. And yet, she never invited me. If I ever suggested joining her, she would laugh it off, saying it was just girl time and that I wouldn't enjoy the gossip. I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was overthinking things. But doubt has a way of eating at you, and eventually I couldn't ignore the feeling in my gut that something was very, very wrong. One night, she fell asleep with her phone still open. I never wanted to be that husband who snooped, but something inside me urged me to look. Just one glance. Just enough to ease my mind. What I found didn't ease my mind. It shattered it. Her messages were open, and there he was. Jake. A name I had never heard her mention before. The texts between them weren't just casual conversation. They were filled with inside jokes, flirty remarks, and worst of all, plans. Plans that didn't involve Italian restaurants with her girlfriends. Plans that led straight to a hotel room. My hands shook as I scrolled, my stomach twisting with every message. The worst part? She had been doing this for weeks, maybe longer, and I had been too blind to see it. I didn't wake her. I didn't scream or demand answers. Instead, I took screenshots of every message, every detail, and sent them to my own phone. Then, I started packing. I packed all her things neatly into suitcases, folding her clothes carefully, placing her shoes in pairs, making sure everything was in order. She would have no excuse to come back and get anything. By the time I was done, the sun had started rising, and I sat at the kitchen table, waiting. That afternoon, she came home, just like she always did, smiling like she had nothing to hide. She walked in, setting her purse down, stretching as if she had just had the most relaxing, satisfying afternoon. "How was lunch?" I asked, my voice calm. She smiled wider, oblivious. "Oh, it was amazing! We tried this new Italian place. You'd love it." I didn't say anything. I just leaned back, watching her. She finally noticed the suitcases by the door, her face shifting from confusion to concern. "What's all this?" she asked, her voice uncertain. I slid the printed screenshots across the table. She picked them up with trembling fingers, her eyes scanning the messages, her smile fading with every word. She opened her mouth, maybe to lie, maybe to explain, but nothing came out. I didn't yell. I didn't ask her why. I didn't care anymore. "You made your choice," I said, my voice steady. "Now live with it." She started crying, saying she was sorry, that it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But it did. It meant worse, everything. I stood up, walked to the door, and held it open. She hesitated, looking at me like she wanted me to forgive her, like she expected me to. But betrayal isn't something you can take back. She stepped outside, and I shut the door behind her.